Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a very long time since my last video, and I said I was going to post more because I had more time, and then I just didn't. So I am back. I figured I really need to make this a regular thing. I'm really going to try to film something, at least one video every weekend, just because I don't do anything on the weekends. Yeah, so I figured I would go ahead and film a foundation routine, full face thing. I don't really know what this is going to be called. It's just focused on the face. So foundation, concealer, powder, contour / bronzing, highlight. Really nothing like too labor intensive on the eyes or anything. This is just when I want a full face look, like just the face, these are the steps that I take. So before I jump into actually putting things on my face, I thought I would go ahead and just kind of start from the very beginning. So as most of you know, but a lot of people tend to forget, the best thing that you can do to have the best looking foundation, the best looking face when you're putting makeup on is to take care of your skin beforehand. So I am actually going to do a video, I think maybe tomorrow, about more of my skincare routine. Kind of like, it'll be like a morning routine on the weekends / here's what I do to my face when I wake up, that kind of stuff. But yeah, like I said, the best thing you can do is to take care of your skin. So right before I sat down, I went ahead and cleansed my face, removed anything. I used like micellar water to take off whatever kind of dirt or makeup or whatever is on my face. So I did that, and then of course I treated for acne. I've used my serums that I like to use, and then moisturized and toned as well. So lately I've been having a lot of issues with acne. I never really had acne as a teenager or a preteen. It wasn't until I hit like 21 that I really started having consistent pimples pop up. So I usually get them in this area of my face, which every woman knows it's hormonal or whatever, but for me, I just cannot seem to get rid of them. I cannot seem to control them. They just keep popping up. Like every single day I have a new one. So I have a lot of acne scarring on my chin and around my nose in this area. So I have been trying lately to really take care of that and really reduce the scarring and the redness. It's always best to wash your face and cleanse your face and then almost immediately sit down to do your makeup, rather than washing your face at like 9 or 10 in the morning and then putting your makeup on at like 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because then there's dirt that'll get piled up, there's oils that'll be piled up, that'll make your makeup sit kind of weird. So I always try to wash my face right before I do my makeup, maybe get everything ready, set up, and then like 10 minutes later I'll go in and prime and do foundation and stuff like that. And I don't think I have anything else to say, so let's go ahead and jump into this makeup look.
Alright, first things first, I'm going to go ahead and just clip my hair back just to keep everything out of my face to make this a little bit easier. First primer I'm going to use is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer in Base Eclat Radiant Primer. This is the pink one. It just helps with brightness, so I use this under the eyes, a little bit on the forehead and down the nose, just to bring a little bit more brightness to my T-zone area. Okay, and I'm also going to try this Maybelline Master Prime. It's the Blur and Illuminate Primer. This has an SPF of 30 in it, which I like because I have very fair skin, so we always want a little bit of SPF. I was very surprised at the amount of luminosity that this one gave off. It does look a little bit greasy here, but it didn't look like that at all in, I guess, like real time. And now for foundation, I'm going to be using the Clinique Beyond Perfecting. This is the foundation and concealer in one. I go ahead and just put this all over my face. This is a very full coverage foundation, which is something that I really like. I really like to cover up my freckles and all my imperfections with acne scarring and just texture that I have. So I'll go ahead and just put this all over the face and then later blend it in with a beauty blender. So this is my first time just using the beauty blender to blend this out all over. I would suggest maybe using a brush first and then going back in with a beauty blender just to get everything to be even and smooth. It doesn't necessarily dry fast, I wouldn't say, but it is a little bit difficult to blend with just the sponge. I think it's because of how thick it is. But I really do like this foundation. I really like the fact that it is so full coverage and it actually will not move throughout the day as long as you set it with powder. And yes, this color is just a little bit too dark for me right now. I would say it's probably like 2 shades too dark. It is very pink, which I was kind of surprised. It doesn't really look that pink in the bottle, but then once I actually put it on my face, it had more of a pink tint to it than more of a yellow undertone. So what I'll do later, you'll see, I'll just go ahead and use my concealer to kind of neutralize everything out and make it match a little bit better. Oh, Ben just walked in the room. He had to get his shoes. He was going somewhere. So that's who I'm talking to. Oh, and there's my puppy. This is Tucker George. He is a mini golden doodle. He is so big. He just turned 9 months, so he's still a baby. Oh, there he is again. Just wants to hang out. Now I'm going to move on to concealer. This is the Tarte Shape Tape in shade Fair. I usually will always buy my concealers in the lightest shade just because without fake tan, I am the palest person you've ever seen in your entire life. And I don't like to have like a bunch of different concealer colors because you can always neutralize them out. You can always make them darker if you want to add a little bit of foundation into it. So I'll go ahead and just blend this out. I put this on my chin, a little bit on the upper lip for some highlight there, on the nose because I tend to get foundation breakup throughout the day in that area. A little bit on my forehead, and then of course underneath the eyes. I really do like this concealer. It is very full coverage, which is something obviously that you know that I like. And it's very easy to blend, and it also doesn't really crease that bad during the day on me, which is something that I like. It's not too oily. I think because of how thick it is and it's not very liquidy, that it actually sits and stays where it needs to be. And now to set my under eyes, I'm going to use my Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is my favorite powder to use underneath my eyes, and for setting my entire face, I just put my Beauty Blender in the powder and then dab that underneath my eyes. It's basically baking, but I don't let it sit for like 10 or 15 minutes. I just wipe it away right away. I'll also do this on my nose just to keep everything intact there. And now for my tiny little eyebrows. I'm going to go ahead and use my Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Caramel, or Caramel, however you say it. I always lose the caps to these, so please God, do not judge me. I have no idea where they are. I always lose them to all of my eyebrow pencils. So I'll go ahead and start and just fill in the bottom, and then I'll just kind of work my way up towards the top and then shape it out how I want it to look at the very end. I do have a more in-depth eyebrow tutorial. It's from a couple months back, but I really don't think my routine has changed anymore. So if you want to watch this to get, I guess, a couple more techniques or tips, go ahead and check that out. And then since my hairs are so sparse in like the inner corner of my brows, I will use my NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Taupe just to kind of shape all that out. Okay, and I'm going to carve out my brows now using my concealer and then just this little concealer brush. I do this just in case I maybe drew something a little bit too thick or a little bit too thin. That way everything can look identical to each side. And this also helps to highlight the brows as well, kind of brings them forward and make them look a little bit more defined. So I really do like doing this technique, and it's just so easy. It makes everything look so precise at the end. And you don't have to worry about like making sure that all of your lines are perfect when you're initially drawing in your brows. Then I'll just blend everything out with my Beauty Blender, that way we don't have white marks all over our face. And now to set my face, I'm just going to use that same Airspun powder that I used underneath my eyes and a Real Techniques powder brush. Just going to put this everywhere, all over my face, a little bit down my neck, anywhere that foundation has touched. For me, setting my face with powder is so important. It's such a rule for me. I am not a person that cannot set my foundation. It just feels oily to me and greasy, and I don't like it. And to bronze, I'm going to use the Too Faced Sweethearts bronzer. I think that's what it's called. It has a cool tone side and also a more warmer side, and it does have a little bit of luminosity into it. This is my favorite bronzer to use in the winter, which I know is weird because it has a little bit of shimmer. But it makes your skin look glowing and alive and not like it's just, covered in a bunch of powder and other makeup and stuff. It really does add a really nice luminosity, and I think it has a really nice color when you mix the two sides together. So I'll just put this on my cheekbones, sides of my nose, and then forehead, and then I'll move on to baking the underside of my bronze. I call it a bronze because it's not a contour. I didn't, really carve out my cheekbones or anything like that. I just wanted to add some color. What did we do before we baked, people? I mean, seriously, this is the best tip I have learned. It just cleans everything up and makes everything so easy. And for my favorite part, highlight. So this is the Glossier highlighting stick balm thing. I don't know what it's called. But I'll go ahead and use my fingertips with this. I don't directly apply it to my face from the stick. I will go ahead and just blend everything out. It's not very intense, so I do add a powder highlight on top. I'll be using the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle and a Morphe M501 brush to apply that to the tops of my cheekbones on either side. I will also put this down the bridge of my nose and on my upper lip. And lately I have been actually highlighting my forehead a little bit, just because in winter my skin is so dull, so I really like to bring as much luminosity that I can to it. And because you can't just use one highlight, we're going to be using the Laura Geller Gilded Honey, and I will put this over top of the MAC Soft and Gentle, and oh my god, this makes it so intense, and I love it. It looks so good together. Moving on to blush, I'm going to use my favorite Urban Decay Afterglow blush, and this is in the shade Fetish, I believe. It's kind of like a plummy pink color. And I will just put that on my cheekbones, and then I'm going to wipe away my bake that's underneath my bronze with a stippling brush, and then we're just about done.
So I have everything on my face now. The only thing I did off camera was add a little bit of eyeliner and mascara to top and bottom lashes and curled my lashes too. This is a look that I would wear kind of not necessarily every day because I don't wear makeup every day. I don't wear makeup to work usually. So it's more of like a weekend casual daytime thing. I really don't have anything on my eyes. There's no eyeshadow, nothing like that, nothing crazy. But this is just a way to get your skin looking nice and glowy and even, and more full coverage if you're looking for more of like a day to nighttime kind of look. You can definitely just go back in and add some eyeshadow and maybe a little bit more eyeliner and you're good to go. So I hope you guys all enjoyed how I do my foundation and how I do my full face routine or whatever the heck you want to call it. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. So I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.